Hello everyone and welcome to the Cheap Meal Draft Review presented by Deep Fried Draft. My name is Brian Bosarge. This time we're going to talk about the Cincinnati Bengals 2017 draft. And as far as value goes, the Bengals definitely were not one of the better teams for picking value throughout the whole draft. But they changed the complexity of their team. They added a lot of speed, which was needed, and hit a lot of needs that they had. Let's start in the first round and pick 9. The Bengals picked John Ross, wide receiver from Washington, fastest player at the combine history in combine history, 4.2240. He will help alleviate the double teams off of AJ Green because it's going to be kind of hard to double up on Green now and also double up on Ross's speed and then try to cover Eifert and the others over the middle. Joe Mixon. It's been talked about over and over again at pick 48. The Bengals did move down from 7 spots and picked up a 4th-round pick and still acquired Joe Mixon. Mixon, talent-wise, was one of the best running backs in the draft, but by now pretty much everybody watching this video has also watched the video where Joe Mixon punched a young lady in the face his freshman year at Oklahoma and broke 4 bones in her face. It's just not something that should ever happen. But the Bengals obviously comfortable with taking these type of PR hits. So that's where they are, and that's where we are. Their next 2 picks in the 3rd round were both, and 4th round were both great value, where they pick up Jordan Willis, edge rush from Kansas State, who maybe a bit of a one-trick pony, but he dominated the Senior Bowl week and can get to the passer. They come back with Carl Lawson, the edge rusher from Auburn, who had some concerns about his hip, and that may have caused him, it's definitely what caused him to drop probably from the early 2nd round into the early 4th round. So the Bengals get plus 75 value with him, and that's pretty much where the value train left the station for the Bengals. With the pick they acquired from the Vikings, they added another receiver and another height, weight, speed guy with Josh Malone from Tennessee, who's 6'3", 208 and ran a 4.440. I had more of a 5th-round grade on Malone. A guy who had a late round grade on they acquired in the 4th round compensatory pick, Ryan Glasgow from Michigan. More of a probably going to be a backup 3 technique for the Bengals. It's definitely not a nose. Could play base end, perhaps. It just depends on how the Bengals want to use him. But like I said, he was a guy I had a later round pick on. 3 of their next 5 picks were guys I didn't have a draftable grade on. One was a kicker, although the Bengals considered him to be the best kicker in the draft. I just don't rank kickers, generally speaking. But Jake Elliott was good in college, was good at the Senior Bowl. Probably, I would say definitely is the odds-on favorite to be the Bengals starting kicker next year. They traded up in the 6th round to get Brandon Wilson, where they gave up a 6th-round compensatory and a 7th-round pick. Wilson is a special teams, going to be, the Bengals expecting to be a special teams dynamo. In the 5th round, they picked, also in the 7th round, the undrafted player that was Mason Schreck, a tight end from Buffalo. Could be a candidate for the practice squad for the Bengals because their tight end room's pretty loaded right now. 5th round, they picked J.J. Dialman, who can play 2 or 3 different offensive line spots, but has had some injury issues, and that could he may end up redshirting this season perhaps. And Jordan Evans is an athletic linebacker from Oklahoma who should help on special teams. Undrafted guys of note, Josh Tupoy, a defensive lineman from Colorado, could play the nose, a nose spot for the Bengals. And Hardy Nickerson Jr., son of Hardy Nickerson, former Tampa Bay, or in Jacksonville linebacker. Only quarterback the Bengals bring in is on the tryout. They bring in Philip Nelson from East Carolina. They also brought in Torrin McGaster from Vanderbilt at the corner position, and Boom Williams, a running back from Kentucky, undersized back. Total value, the Bengals 29th in the league. Like I said, that was not great. Average value 26th, not great. Their money value, though, the first 3 rounds, they finished 9th in the league. So there's that. But the Bengals did, like I said, they upgraded the athleticism of their team and field needs. So my value board is not the be-all, end-all, but the Bengals on that were not very good. So that's going to do it for this review. Up next will be the Cleveland Browns. See you then.